The Anker Nebula Apollo is among the smallest models in the company's Nebula line of entertainment projectors. This packs a lot of multimedia capability in its modest body. It can project images and video from external sources, stored on a USB thumb drive or from internal memory or HDMI. It can play music files and even function as a Bluetooth speaker when paired with your smartphone or other mobile devices. You can control the Apollo through its built-in control panel and included remote, or from an iOS or Android device through the Nebula Connect app. Android inbuilt, bringing the universe of Android apps to your projector screen. It has an unusually long battery life between charges, which makes the Apollo a good choice as a portable projector, especially when you're away from external power source. The Apollo uses a DLP based light engine employing an LED light source that has a rated lifetime of around 30,000 hours, which is quite common for LED based projectors. At 200 ANSI lumens, it is of modest brightness, matching the output of the Anker Nebula Capsule 2 and also the Codec Luma 350. It has a resolution of 854 by 480 pixel or 480p resolution, which is common amongst mini projectors. The Capsule 2 having also 200 ANSI but a resolution of 1280 by 720, although you can get other projectors that have a standardized 720p or 1080p, roughly a bit more than this price range. This also packs a single watt speaker inbuilt, which can operate as a Bluetooth speaker when you're not using the projector. The measurements for this projector is 5.2 by 2.6 inches. This is by far the smallest I've seen for a projector at this price range. So let's go ahead and open this up. As you can see, the box is really nicely designed here with all the specs at the back of the device. This does only support Android 7.0 or 7.1, so not the most up-to-date of Android devices, but there are still enough apps for you to browse and try out using this projector. Inside of the box, everything is neatly packed in. Here we should have the remote control inside, and then some of the manuals and leaflets, and here is the projector itself, relatively light, weighing in at only about 420 grams, so very lightweight for a mini projector. Nicely designed. It has this like aluminium sort of grill around the casing of it. On the back of the device we have a HDMI port, a DC input, and also a USB drive where you can put a USB stick full of movies or music onto this. I'm not too sure what the file formats are, but it should play most of it, and you can also download a VLC player on the Android app. So once you turn this on, you can see at the top here we have the Nebula logo, which turns red, as well as 5 virtual buttons. So we have the home, back, a mouse button, and then you got the volume plus and minus. The built-in control panel has a set of controls similar to what's going on with the remote control, which shows a touchpad and adds a 5-wave controller with a central button. Between the two, I preferred using the remote because amongst navigating the menus, it's a lot easier just to click the left and the right, up and down, rather than the mouse mode. You can also control the Apollo using Anker's Nebula Capture app, which I haven't used too much, but it's quite convenient way instead of having to carry a remote with you. And this actually functions a lot easier with the mouse function of the Apollo, because you can just slide your finger using it as a mouse rather than the laggy mouse controls via the remote. There are definitely pros and cons of using the Nebula app on your mobile device, but in terms of actually typing stuff in and searching stuff, this is a godsend compared to using the remote control. So this is what it looks like on a 70-inch projector screen, and it is actually daytime currently, so you're not going to see the full potential when it's daytime. It's going to look a bit washed out compared to if you had this in a dark room. You can actually beam this up to 100 inches, but you will start to see the colors being washed out and the picture may not be as clear. Again, this is only a 480p projector, so don't expect a 720p crisp clear image. So I'm just going to go through a couple of the settings here. So once you set this up, this is what you will see on the Nebula Apollo, which pretty much looks like the same sort of home screen as a lot of the other Nebula projectors out there. This is again only up to Android 7.1, and I already have some apps installed on here. This is some of the options that you can change, and you can also do Airplay and screen mirroring. So if you want to use your mobile and show everyone your pictures or whatever on your phone, you can easily do that by connecting via screen mirror. So with my Huawei P20 Pro, it's connecting quite quick, and obviously the screen's gonna mimic the same resolution as your phone, but you can also change this to desktop mode, which will look like something like a Windows setup, but is an Android desktop screen, which makes it a lot easier to navigate through your phone via screen mirroring. So some of the settings on the home page, we have HDMI options, file manager, app manager, network, and settings. You can also connect via Bluetooth using a soundbar or Bluetooth headset, earphones. You can actually change the sound to something a lot better than the 6-watt speaker. Under the settings, when you change the image mode, you have battery save mode and you also have standard mode. So I believe battery save mode will change the ANSI to like 100 ANSI, and then the standard mode is the full max 200 ANSI. And to preserve battery life, you can actually change it to battery save mode, but you will see the difference in the brightness of the screen. You also have auto keystone correction, which is handy if you have this kind of tilted on a tripod. It will automatically adjust it. The only problem is this doesn't have a horizontal keystone or auto horizontal keystone, so you kind of have to get this projector directly pointing at the screen in order to be able to see properly, else it will look like it's at a funny angle if not. So be aware of that. This doesn't have auto horizontal keystone, but you can adjust it manually very slightly, but again you still need to have the projector facing directly to the screen. The manual keystone setting options could be a lot better, but for this price range you can't expect this projector to have every setting available. Some of the other options is you can change the projector to be inverted. So if you have this connected to a ceiling, you can change that and view it from there. This is what the App Store looks like for the Nebula projectors. So we have quite a lot of apps you can download and install. A couple of games here: beach buggy racing, Crossy Roads. Don't expect this to have every app available because this is only up to Android 7.1, but it has most of the apps that most people will need. So quite a lot of apps for you to choose from. You also have Amazon and YouTube. Here's just a little demonstration of what an Android game looks like on a projector. Okay, and let's load up YouTube. Connection seems pretty stable. It hasn't dropped its Wi-Fi since I've been using this. So as with most projectors, they do have a inbuilt fan inside, and like this one does have a fan, and it can be a little bit noisy when you're up close next to the projector itself. And if you're watching like a quiet film, then you'll probably notice the fan whirling in the background. I did do some tests to see how loud the fan actually goes up to in terms of decibels. So here's a little test just to show you how loud the fan actually gets. So this is connected via HDMI. There is, again, like I said, some latency. So when you play this, when you press a button, it will not react as fast as you're used to using a traditional monitor or a 4K TV. I mean, it works as it is, but don't expect to play competitive games using this projector. So I'll go through some games, and I'll also show you what this looks like in the dark as well. I'll play some YouTube videos and you can see for yourself. So I'm just going to showcase what this projector looks like using an Xbox Series X. So this has a battery rating of 4 hours video playtime, which is pretty good for a portable projector. The Capsule 2, however, only has 2.5 hours, although that it does have a better resolution of 720p rather than Apollo's 480p. The speaker is also louder, which will make the Capsule 2 run its battery down more than the Apollo, but this is still pretty good if you're not too bothered about the 480p and the 6-watt speaker, which actually is loud enough for a single size room, or if you're just using it in a tent or a van, then the 6-watt speaker is perfectly fine. I've yet to come across a projector that does have 4 hours of video playtime. And in my testing, this is pretty much true, although I was playing the video on the battery saving mode, which I believe if you change it to standard mode when you plug it in, you will get the true 200 ANSI. If you use that on the battery mode, then you're probably looking around 3 to 2.5 hours. So this is a great portable mini projector at a very affordable price, but there is some downsides to this which may make you decide to spend a little bit extra just to fulfill those small little nibbles that this projector doesn't fulfill. So the first thing is this LED projector is of modest brightness. The colors tend to look muted when the image size is too large, and there was a slight color imbalance in which the reds looked dull and the greens were a bit bright. And the fact that you literally have to have this placed directly facing the projector screen in order to view it at a decent angle is another problem. There is no auto horizontal keystone going on here, just auto vertical keystoning. So that could be an issue if you have a limited amount of space and you need to put this projector at a weird angle in order to display it where your screen is. You literally have to direct it facing towards the screen in order to get the optimal screen size. Another thing is it does boast that it's that you can project this up to a 100-inch screen, which is ideal or good for a dark lit room, but terrible for a room that has light. You'll find that the screen quality will be washed out. The ideal size for this, I would say, is anywhere between 30 to 60, 70 inches. You can get a good picture, especially in a dark room. For viewing pictures, whatever, that is totally fine. For gaming, not so much. Hard to read the text when you're using the HDMI port. It is only a 2.0 HDMI port, I believe, so don't expect really good frame rate or great latency with this device. When I was trying some of the games that require you to read a lot of text, you'll find that the text is too fuzzy or too blurry. You're better off picking a projector that has at least 720p or 1080p resolution, but for this, for gaming, not so good. For movies, I'd say it's pretty good. I've watched several movies on this, and although when you look up close you can see the tiny LED, how many LED lights there actually is, at a distance it has that cinematic experience. The 6-watt speaker is good. It's good for adequate casual listening, whether it's music or video files, although if you crank it up too high you will hear some distortion and some crackle on the speakers. The fact that the fan is, I believe, installed above the speaker or in front or behind, you can hear the fan kind of running or whirling behind. This seems to have like 2 levels as well. When it gets too hot it will amp up a bit and it will sound like a kind of like a PS4 when it's running a really demanding game. You can hear that it sounds a little bit like a jet engine. This may put some people off when choosing the Apollo. Apart from that, the design choice, the build quality, it's a very sturdy bit of kit. You can use this as a Bluetooth speaker. You don't actually have to use this as a projector. I really like the form factor of this. You can carry this around with you if you're going camping, going trips. You can use this at a hotel room or wherever you're at. It's a very neat, compact design. For the price range at around $450 or £400, this is a relatively good projector, although spending like £100 more, $100 more, you can probably get something a bit newer and more updated in terms of software. You can probably pick this up cheaper than the retail price, which is a very good purchase if this is going to be your first projector. I do recommend this at this price range, but if you want to spend a little bit more, then I suggest getting the Mars Pro 2 or the Mars Pro or the XGME Halo Portable Pro, which has a 900 or 800 ANSI compared to this 200 ANSI. So there definitely are better choices out there, but it's just whether or not you want to spend a bit more. So that is my review for the Nebula Apollo, and if you have any questions then please comment down below. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again on another review.